Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad you could be with us today. Two fun topics today. Number one, we're going to be talking about sleep deprivation. Are you sleep deprived? And the chances are the answer is yes for most of you, and you don't even know it. So, we're going to teach you how to spot sleep deprivation, and then what to do about it is really the key. And then the second part, we're going to be talking about saving time and stop wasting time. Because what happens is, we've had a little issue. I don't know if you're aware. There was a little issue with people not going out a lot and restaurants being closed down and the whole world being shut down. Well, we're going to come out of that. And when we come out of it, I have a concern. And my concern is that some of you are still going to be in that lackadaisical mode. You're going to be in the stay-home mode. You're going to be in not socializing mode. Those of you who are ready to break out, those of you who are ready to say, all right, I'm going to hit the ground running, this is going to be an incredible opportunity for you to just skyrocket ahead of everybody else. And I'm going to teach you what to do, how to get ready for that, because it's going to happen. And when it does, I want you to be ahead of everybody else because you're Joe-it-alls. If you don't know what a Joe-it-all is, it's a Facebook group we have. It's a little private group we have. I want you all to join it, by the way, Joe-it-alls. For the first time ever, we now have merchandise available. We have masks. We put together masks, says I'm a Joe-it-all. And those should be available very shortly. So I'd love to have you come join us and start bragging to your friends that you're a Joe-it-all. So they'll tell you you're a know-it-all, but now you're a Joe-it-all, which is better than a know-it-all. So let's talk about the effects of sleep deprivation. In a nutshell, sleep deprivation is caused by a consistent lack of sleep or reduced quality of sleep. It's pretty simple. Getting less than 7 hours of sleep on a regular basis can eventually lead to health consequences, and that's going to affect your entire body. This also may be caused by an underlying sleep disorder. One of the things that I see as a chiropractor and an orthopedist, a non-surgical orthopedist, and a pain management expert, nutritionist, is that people come to us in pain. And if you're in pain, you're not getting a good night's sleep. Garrett and I were just talking about this before the show started today, and we were talking about mattresses and how important mattresses are and pillows. And so if you're not getting a good amount of sleep, especially if you're in pain, you're not going to be able to function at 100%. Now, the number one cause of back pain, by far, is pinched nerves. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, restless leg syndrome, your shoulder hurts, you wake up with a headache, these are all signs that you have pinched nerves. And the number one treatment for pinched nerves is chiropractic care. Chiropractic care is the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain, for back pain. So if you have pain, I can't imagine why you wouldn't start out with chiropractic. Just before I went on the air, I got an email. In fact, I was talking to somebody, and I got an email, and he said that he's been through every test known to man. He's had MRIs and CAT scans and bone scans, and they thought maybe it was something called multiple myeloma, which is cancer of the bones. It's not that. They want to do a bone biopsy. And I spoke to him, and I said, have you ever considered chiropractic care? He goes, no, I've tried everything else, injections, medications. He says, I'm dopey as can be. I've had so many nerve blocks. Nothing's helping. And I said, let's start with the basics and go from there. He says, I'm ready, doc. I've spent a ton of money. He says, I'm not getting the results. I'm ready. So he made him an appointment. So, yeah, you always start with the basics. My grandfather was a German immigrant, and he taught me that too. Start with the basics. Many times that solves the problems. You can always build up from there if you need to. So chiropractic care, most effective, least expensive treatment for pain. Many times that solves the problem of sleep issues. Can't sleep, you're in pain, go to chiropractic, get chiropractic care, pain goes away, you feel better. But here's the thing with chiropractic, 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. You can have a pinched nerve and not know it. Those nerves control organs. So now we may have an organ malfunction because the brain isn't talking to the body because the pathways are being blocked or pinched. And so now the organs aren't functioning, and that can affect your sleep as well. So you don't have to just have pain, you're just having a malfunction of something, and that can be causing your problems. So your body needs sleep. It needs air, it needs water, it needs sleep. During sleep, your body heals itself and restores the chemical balances in the body. So it's really important that you get this done. Your brain forges new thought connections. Your brain actually starts to heal itself when you're sleeping. If you're not getting into that deep REM sleep, not the band from Athens, but the deep rapid eye movement sleep, your body isn't working, and so your brain can't work. And your brain has to heal. When I went to school, I was taught that once a brain cell was damaged, it was damaged forever. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, it turns out that research was wrong. Your brain does grow new cells on a regular basis. Right now, your brain is producing new cells. And if there is damage to a certain area, the brain can rewire itself. The brain has a quality called plasticity. Plasticity is like plastic. It can bend and mold itself. So with plasticity in your brain and the ability to generate new nerve cells and new brain cells, your body can heal, but that has to happen when the body is rested. So if the body isn't rested, you're not able to go into that deep healing. And so that's why it's so important for our patients, we have 6 doctors, our patients to get well, because we want to get them into that deep, restful sleep. And sometimes it's due to pain, sometimes it's due to nerve malfunctions. So without enough sleep, you just can't function normally. There was a review of studies, and they found that sleeping too little at night increases the risk of early death. Wow. So we're thinking about pain and brain fog. It can actually kill you if you're not getting enough sleep. So what are some signs of sleep deprivation? How do you know you got it? Okay, stimulants such as caffeine aren't enough to override your body's profound need for sleep. Let me explain to you. Somebody old enough to get that reference. Let me explain to you, Lucy, how the body works with caffeine. You take caffeine in your body, and it gets into the body, and it stimulates the nervous system, but it blocks up something called adenosine receptor sites. Adenosine is a chemical in your brain that's released, and when it's absorbed into the brain, you get tired. It's perfect. It's the way the body's supposed to work. Caffeine looks like adenosine. So what caffeine does, it blocks up the adenosine receptor sites, so now you can't absorb adenosine. So what happens is you stay awake, but your brain is smarter than you. What your brain does is it says, wait a minute, I need sleep, Joe. So I'm going to produce more adenosine receptor sites. And so now I produce more adenosine receptor sites, and so I'm absorbing more adenosine. I get tired. So what do? You drink more coffee. And that's why it maybe took you 1 cup of coffee to get high. Then it took 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I had a patient one time, was it 24 cups of coffee a day, I think it was? I thought, how do you do it? You're just peeing all day. How do you function at that level? He lost his family, lost his job, lost his wife, his children. Nobody was speaking. He was just a nut. And he wouldn't give up his coffee. And I worked with him for quite a while. Even chiropractic care, adjusting was like hitting a brick wall because all his muscles were so spasmed. That was the most severe case I've ever seen. But giving up coffee is really important. And in my first book that I wrote, Eating Right for the Health of It, we have a chapter called Kicking the Habit. And in that chapter, we talk about what to do to give up coffee. And it's really pretty easy. You put a cup of black coffee in front of you, organic only. Never drink anything but organic coffee if you drink it. 1 tablespoon of organic coffee every hour. That gives you just enough chemicals to kind of keep you stimulated, but for the brain to start to heal those adenosine receptor site areas that you produce too many of them. And so the body will start to heal those, make them not usable anymore, and then you won't get as tired. So it's a pretty simple thing to do. The longest it's ever taken me to get somebody off coffee who really wanted to get off coffee, 4 days. And that was it. And these are severe coffee drinkers. So 1 tablespoon an hour. And what will happen is you'll forget. You'll skip an hour, skip another hour. Oh, gosh, I'm feeling better. That's how it usually works. So you need sleep for the brain to heal. So if coffee isn't overriding your desire to sleep anymore, this can make sleep deprivation worse by making it harder to fall asleep at night. This, in turn, can lead to a cycle of nighttime insomnia followed by daytime caffeine consumption to battle the tiredness, causing lost hours of sleep, and it just becomes a mess. So behind the scenes, chronic sleep deprivation can interfere with the body's internal systems and can cause more than just initial signs and symptoms of problems. It can cause some real serious problems like damage to the nervous system. Now, folks, I'm a chiropractor. Okay, I'm also board certified in orthopedics and pain management and nutrition. So when patients come to us, we try to get everything we can fixed as quickly as possible. So your central nervous system is the main highway in your body. And my job, our job, my doctor's jobs, my chiropractors, my medical doctors, our jobs are to get you well as quickly as possible. And so the one thing we all have to look at is the central nervous system. Central nervous system is the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system are the nerves that come from your spinal cord out to the rest of your body. Central brain and spinal cord, peripheral outside there. But sleep is necessary to keep it functioning normally, and chronic insomnia can disrupt how your body sends those messages back and forth and processes information. Too much sleep deprivation could even lead to things like hallucinations. So again, the central nervous system needs that rest. So during sleep, the pathways form between nerve cells in your brain, and they help you remember new information that you've learned. Sleep deprivation leaves your brain exhausted, it can't perform that duty. It can't just keep rewiring itself because the brain has short-term memory and long-term memory. Short-term memory is, okay, what did I have for breakfast today? Well, I know what I had. I had Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. I had a banana, I had a tangerine. I think that was my whole breakfast. Yeah, apple. I had an apple. I remember that. If you said, what did I have for breakfast 5 days ago? I don't remember because that's short-term memory. Short-term memory, the brain says, is this important? Is this vital information? No, by tomorrow it's not going to be important what I had for breakfast today. So the brain says, I'm going to forget that. If it's important, the brain sends that information through nerves to another part of the brain. That's where the long-term memory is stored. And so I'll remember my high school graduation. Okay, why? That's stored in my long-term memory. My brain said, that's important. Let's remember it. And so you're going to remember the short-term and long-term memory. If the nervous system isn't working and able to process and store these things, it's not going to work. You can also find it difficult to concentrate or learn new things. Brain doesn't want to learn when it's tired. The signals your body sends may also be delayed, which decreases your coordination and increases your risk of accidents. Now, we've all done this. We're tired. We're more clumsy. We're more likely to get in an accident. So you need to have the brain working for a safety mechanism, not just about memory, but it's about your life. You can slip and fall. You can not have the reflexes that you used to have when you were rested, and that can be a big issue. So sleep deprivation also negatively impacts your mental abilities and your emotional state. So we may know of somebody that's angry, they're strange, they're weird, they're crazy. It could just be that the brain isn't processing information because they're sleep deprived. They're tired. And then if you do caffeine, that makes you jittery. That doesn't necessarily give you energy. It kind of robs your body of energy. And then you need more and more caffeine. So that's where the problems come in. You may feel more impatient, mood swings. You can compromise your decision-making process, your creativity. Some people can do better with less sleep, but most people need at least 7 hours. So if sleep deprivation is long enough, you could start to have hallucinations, seeing or hearing things. Lack of sleep can trigger mania in people, bipolar disorders, anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD. All of these things are exacerbated or aggravated by lack of sleep. You can have impulse behavior. I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm going to do something stupid. Anxiety, depression, paranoia, even suicidal thoughts. So many times we have to work on a patient and try to get to the cause of why they have sleep deprivation so that we don't get into these extreme cases, anxiety, depression, even suicidal. And in our office, we look at the nervous system, which controls everything. We look at the digestive system because that's the key. Many times when I have patients that can't sleep, it's a digestive problem. In fact, in the past 2 days, I had 5 people come to me with this exact same question. And I give them the same explanation. I really should just write these explanations down, just hand out cards. You know, here's this, because we get the same questions often. Now, here's the thing. If you have a question, you could send it to us through our website, drjoe.com, and one of us will answer your question. We're more than happy to help you with your questions. So if you have a question, you could send it to us, but we know that there are certain questions we're going to see over and over and over again. Pain, of course, is the number one issue. Digestion is number 2. Sleep is one of the big ones. What supplements to take is right up there. And so many times I just have to tell a patient, you know, we've seen this case before many times. What's headaches, neck pain, back pain, car accidents, sprained ankles, whatever it is. And you really should come see us because in most cases we get great results and people are pretty happy with that because most people are seeking information. They seek knowledge. And you want to know, what can I do? What can I do to help myself? So with neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, just make an appointment to come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, Medicare. We have a medical division as well. We have a medical doctor and staff, nurses on staff. So we do everything we can to try to cover all aspects of your health. And it's neat because our medical doctor and I many times will sit down, and he's brilliant, and I'm brilliant, I think, and we kind of sit down together, and it's a clash of the titans sometimes. We get together, and we don't argue with each other. We say, what would you do for this? What would you do for this? Sometimes you need medicine. Sometimes you need injections. Sometimes you need something called PRP. Sometimes you need chiropractic, nutrition. In our offices, we have all these brains coming together to try to come up with the best treatment for you. And we get referrals from hospitals, major clinics. You know the names. I won't say them, up in other states, Minnesota and Boston. And people come to us because a lot of doctors go, we don't know what else to do. So we'd love to be your doctors. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. You can do it right online. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. The initial visit was $375. We can't do this for much longer, folks. We've reduced that to $199. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over your x-rays on the second visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Nutrition evaluation alone is $150. So you're silly not to take advantage of this. Again, we can't do it forever. drjoe.com. And if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, you need to come see us. The quicker you see us from a car accident, the better. When I say quicker, that day or the next day is ideal. We want to get in there and start doing the repair work so that inflammation doesn't set in and actually make the problem worse. So we're talking about sleep deprivation today and what it does to the body. How do you know you have it? And then what can you do about it? I want to talk about your immune system real quick because that's a big topic right now, of course. With the immune system, the immune system is key. And we know that when it comes to diseases, cold, flus, COVID, the healthier you are, the less likely you are to get these diseases. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to get them, but I believe the missing link in healthcare is no one's talking about preventive healthcare. Everyone's talking about treatment. What do I do if I get this disease? Well, I agree with that. If I get a disease, I want to get the best treatment in the world. Whether it's chiropractic, nutrition, medical, injections, immune therapy, I want to get the best treatment in the world. I think you do too. But if we prevent a lot of these things from happening, we don't have to worry about that. So the act of prevention can be passive and active. And I want you to get well. I want you to stay well. I want you to take care of yourself. When you sleep, your immune system produces infection-fighting substances called antibodies and cytokines. And it uses these substances to combat foreign invaders like bacteria and viruses. Now, with COVID, we have something called a cytokine storm. You have innate immunity, first level, that kicks in when you're exposed to something. Then is acquired immunity, which kicks in as a second phase. But if the body starts attacking too much, the immune system starts to go crazy, you can have what's called a cytokine storm. When the cytokine storm kicks in, the body starts attacking itself. And that's usually the thing that gets you when you have things like COVID. So keeping the immune system in check and as healthy and as functional as possible is really the goal. Certain cytokines will help you sleep, giving your immune system more efficiency to defend your body against illnesses. So you got to sleep in order to get the right balance in the immune system. So sleep deprivation prevents the immune system from building up its forces, like building up its troops. If you don't get enough sleep, your body may not be able to fight off the invaders, and it can also take you longer to recover. So long-term sleep deprivation also increases your risk of chronic conditions such as diabetes, obesity, heart disease, everything, folks. So sleep is really important. It can affect your respiratory system. Many people have sleep disorders. They can't sleep properly. Many times what that's caused by is the stomach is pushing up against the diaphragm. So let me explain this to you, and I'll get into the digestive aspects here. You have a sheet of muscle called the diaphragm. And if you've listened to the show before, you've heard me say this. And the stomach is supposed to sit below the diaphragm. Your stomach can push up into the diaphragm. And some of the symptoms you might have if you have this condition, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. The stomach is pushing up into the diaphragm, so the stomach isn't doing its main job. And the stomach's main job is to take proteins and break them down into something called amino acids. It kind of breaks the proteins, little tiny components. The amino acid tryptophan, specifically, combines with B vitamins in your small intestine, specifically B6, and creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP goes into the brain and creates a chemical called serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that makes you happy, helps you focus. Serotonin becomes melatonin, which helps you sleep. So I cannot tell you how many cases of sleep disorder I've seen over the years, hundreds, probably thousands, where we fix their stomach so the stomach can break proteins into amino acids to produce serotonin, to produce melatonin, and the patient says, Dr. Joe, for the first time in my life, I'm able to sleep. So if you have heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, you might want to come see us. Because it's a physical thing. It's not a supplement I can give you. We need to take the stomach and physically pull it down away from the diaphragm. It's part of a chiropractic treatment plan. And when we do that, in most cases, people are thrilled. I have this condition. And when I start burping, if I start realizing that I'm not feeling full, I keep eating and eating, I'm not feeling full. If I feel bloated, almost always it's my stomach pushing up against my diaphragm. When I pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, my doctors do, I can't do it myself, it's a whole new world. So many times sleep issues, sleep apnea is due to the fact that the stomach is in the wrong place. Then we check the nerve supply from the spine to the stomach. Then we get you on a good diet. And simply put, everyone, I feel, should be avoiding wheat and dairy products. My friend's sister called me the other day, Marianne from Florida, and she's just having the worst stomach issues and burping and digestive issues and can't sleep and pain, and she's been to 6 different doctors, doesn't know what to do for it. And I explained to her just what I explained to you, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, that's me, Joe. That's exactly what I have." So I couldn't see her. She's down in Florida. I said, "At least do this for me. Give up wheat and give up dairy products. See what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So what? You gave up wheat and dairy for a couple of weeks." About a week or 2 later, she calls me. She goes, "I've had 1 attack since I gave up wheat and dairy products." She says, "That's amazing. I can't thank you enough for that simple advice. It was free. All you have to do is not do something." I didn't tell her to do anything. I told her not to do things. I did put her actually on digestive enzymes as well, and that seemed to help too. So fixing the digestive system is going to be the key to fixing the sleep issues. And here's the thing. If you don't sleep, your body reduces its production of leptin. Leptin is a neurotransmitter that's made in your stomach that goes up into your brain that tells you that you're full. So less leptin, you don't feel as full. It increases the production of ghrelin. Ghrelin is a chemical that goes into the brain and makes you hungry. So it increases the hunger chemical and decreases the full chemical. So what do? You eat more. How many of you, when you're tired, want to eat? I do. Okay, it's just the way the body is working. It's affecting how the body functions. And so you got to get that leptin ghrelin balance, and we do that. Another thing that happens, you do that by sleeping, getting the right sleep. It can affect the cardiovascular system. It can affect blood sugar, blood pressure, inflammation. It can affect your hormone levels. And treatment really is simple. Number 1, check the stomach, fix the stomach. Number 2, if you have pain, just come see us, chiropractic care. Let's get that taken care of. If you have obesity, that's something we might want to have to deal with. We have a weight loss program that we do. Again, if you're in pain, we have something called chiropractic and PRP. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. We take the cells out of your body, spin them down. It's the growth factors, concentrated growth factors, and put it right back into your body. We can inject into an arthritic knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hair growth. It can help stimulate hair growth, erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage for women, sexual dysfunction for women. PRP really is, I believe, the next step in healthcare. And I can't see it not happening because it's your own cells. You don't reject your own cells, which is kind of nice. So when it comes to regenerative medicine, anti-aging, PRP really is the thing to do. So if you want more information, you can go to our website, drjoe.com, click on the tab that says services, and has a list of all the services that we have. So if you do want to make an appointment, by the way, drjoe.com, you can do it right online. Phone numbers are everywhere if you want to call us, all over the website. We have over 1,500 hours of podcasts on the website. And the supplements we talked about, the Super Greens, the Essential Source, which is the minimum supplements everybody should be taking, along with vitamin D. Those are on the website, drjoe.com. We have a bunch of other supplements, hormone balancing supplements, digestive enzymes, omega-3 fatty acids. Great source of information, the website, drjoe.com. So you also want to, we're talking about sleep here. I'm almost done with time. Don't eat late at night because the stomach can push up against the diaphragm. Keep electronics away from your bed. Don't use electric blankets. All these things can affect your sleep. That's not a good idea. Folks, I got to go to a break. If you have any questions, send them to me through our website, drjoe.com. Again, the website's a great source of information if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am so glad that you're with us today. Hope everybody's rocking, having a wonderful day. We're going to talk now about how to stop wasting time, because this is an issue. And I know you think, well, Dr. Joe, you're the nutrition guy, you're the chiropractic guy, you're the pain management guy, you're the orthopedic guy. You're going to talk about wasting time? Yeah, because this affects your health. And so many of us are wasting time, and we're not getting the things done that we need to do to stay healthy. But here's what's going to happen. And I'm going to put this in the Dr. Joe was right column in a few months. And that's a big column, by the way. I've been doing this for a long time. What's going to happen is life is going to get back to normal, whatever that normal is, okay, or a normal. And some of us are still going to be stuck in the sitting around, laying on the couch, not socializing, not going out mode. Those people are going to be left behind because some of us, or some of you, hopefully you're going to listen, are going to be healthy. You're going to be come out of the blocks hard, and you're going to have so much energy, and you're going to have a plan that now where things used to be hard for you and struggles are going to be so much easier because society as a whole, I believe, is going to be left behind. They're going to be sitting around not being able to shift gears. So I'm going to teach you some things that I want you to consider doing because these are the things I do. And believe me, they work very well, and Garrett does them as well too. And I've always learned that the happy, I was going to say successful people, but the happy people are the ones that have a plan. They have goals in mind. So the first thing I want you to do is get the big picture for both your work and your home life. What do you think that's going to look like? I did an interview the other day for a new employee, and we were talking about job description. And she said, Dr. Joe, you've done it all. You know, number one health radio show in the country, podcast, books, supplements. You've seen tens of thousands of people. Everyone likes you. Everybody turns to you, including other hospitals and doctors for advice. You've pretty much reached the pinnacle in healthcare. What's next? And I said, I'm not even close to being where I want to be because I think that the whole world needs to know what you're hearing right now about natural health care. I think the whole world needs to go to our website, drjoe.com, and download the podcasts. And if you have a podcast service, the podcast is called Dr. Joe for the Health of It. And if we had people doing something simple, like just taking vitamin D, especially during the winter, take 5 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D. That's going to help the immune system. Taking the minimum supplements like Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It would change dramatically the picture, the landscape of healthcare that's out there. Because so many people are so depleted in nutrients that giving them just a little bit is going to dramatically change their lives. So Super Greens, Essential Source, and vitamin D. That would be a goal. Getting the word out on how to get well, that's my goal. And so I've got a lot further to go, but I want you to think about what is your goals? What does work look like when things turn back to normal? What does family look like when it turns back to normal? You might want to find a better work-life balance. Get more exercise. Be more involved with your children's after-school projects and programs. Once you know where you are, you can break them down to smaller tasks. So this is life coaching here. So think about what's it going to look like day one when everything turns back to normal. I want to travel. I'm going nuts. I'm biting at the bit, man. I want to go on vacation. I want to go on a cruise. I want to go out and visit my friends like in California. I want to get out and do things. So I've already had in my mind a master plan as to what my life's going to look like when this all turns back to normal. And keep track. It can help you to take a week or so and note how long it takes you to get things done. Now, I've never understood how people say, well, Tuesday is laundry day. I'm going to do laundry on Tuesday. Because when I have laundry, I run out to the my washer-dryer, and just throw it in the washer-dryer, and it's done. So I never understood how you plan a whole day around laundry, but some people do. How long does it take you in the morning? Do an analysis. I was talking to a high schooler the other day, and she said, I got to get up an hour and a half early if I'm on a Zoom call for classes because I got to do my hair and my makeup. She goes, but I don't have to worry about my clothes so much, just my shirt. I thought, okay, that's kind of funny. A bunch of high school kids are sitting around in their underwear, their shorts, taking classes now, which is a whole new paradigm. But she figured out that it takes her X amount of minutes to be ready to get out. She goes, if I sleep late, if I lay in bed too long, then I can't have breakfast. Then I can't take my supplements. Then I can't whatever. So you need to figure it all out. Most people overestimate how long it takes to do simple things, like take a shower, and underestimate bigger tasks, like homework. Of course, for children, it'll be homework. If you know exactly how much time you spend, you're going to be able to manage it better. So lay it all out. I know in the morning, I like to get up 2 hours before I leave for work. Because when I get up in the morning, I like to lay in bed for a few minutes. I enjoy that. And so, okay, if I want to have that moment, I got to get up 2 hours early to lay in bed for 15 or 20 minutes. I almost always pack my own lunch. So I know I have to plan ahead. Now, if there's a time when I won't have time to make lunch, I'll do it the night before. I'll lay everything out on my kitchen counter, lay out my supplements, my Super Greens, my Essential Source. I got my supplement. I've got little pill boxes that I have for all my supplements laid out. So I know if I'm in a rush or if I'm going to be, if I maybe have to stop and get gas in the morning, or if I have to have a meeting early or something like that, I got to plan all that out. So start thinking about this, because when you start getting back to normal, it's going to be really difficult to start doing these things that you got so used to for a year or so. So lay it all out. Put to-dos into 4 groups: urgent and important, not urgent but important, urgent but not important, and neither urgent or important. So urgent, again, has to be done right away. Important means it has to be done, but maybe not right away. So your goal is to have a few things of urgent and important as possible. Those are the things that take priority. Those cause the stress when they pile up. If you manage your time well, you're probably going to spend most of your time on not urgent but important. So what's important? Laundry's important. It's not urgent. I have enough clothes that I can go a couple of days and use other clothes. So it's important, but it's not urgent. If I have to get to work and start seeing patients at 8:30 in the morning, that's urgent and important. So start to prioritize what your life looks like and schedule your day. I find it amazing that we now have computers, and my phone is my calendar. And whenever I do anything, I break out my phone. What do I got? Well, I got this, 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 and this. And then I can plan days in advance. So start thinking about that. So again, you're thinking to yourself, Dr. Joe, you're the health guru. What does this have to do with health? Because this is mental health. And this is the one thing that nobody's really talking about. I'm seeing patients come to me all the time, depressed, anxious, sad, antisocial, teenagers now. Big issues with teenagers. Suicide rates are very high among people because they don't have the life they used to have. Teenagers, I feel it's really important. It's time to socialize. It's time to learn how to interact, how to have an argument, how to have a crush. All these things, you learn this, and these kids aren't getting the opportunity to do this. And so you, if you're an adult, need to take this opportunity to start planning these things out so that their lives can be better too. If you don't have teenagers in your life, you got the same problems. You're not being social, you're not interacting, and you need to be able to start doing that. So schedule your day. Are you more likely to do yard work if you have a chunk of time to do it, or spread it out over the course of a week? So I know weekends in the springtime, I love doing yard work. I'll get out there, and many times I have to force myself to stop because I'll work until the point I'm exhausted, and that's not a good place to be. So do you like to go out in the morning and pull a few weeds, or do you want to take a Saturday and just do it all at once? Whatever works best for you is fine, and don't be afraid to change things up. Try it. You know, in my house, I have figs, blueberries, raspberries. I'm going to have tomatoes, cucumbers. I've got 2 big gardens. So I know that if I get up in the morning, I like to pick blueberries and have fresh blueberries or figs. I've got to plan that into my day. So I know that this gives me pleasure to be out in the morning and have the fresh fruit. How do I work that into my day? Because in the past, sometimes I'd let things get overwhelming to me, and then I wouldn't go out and pick the figs, and the birds eat them. Now, again, this is, I know, first world problems, I know. But I didn't have the pleasure of having the fresh fruit in the morning. So just start planning these things out and do the hard stuff first. Mark Twain said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do that first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. It's kind of an odd analogy there Mark Twain made, but get the hard ones out of the way. Knock out the big projects. You're going to find it's a lot easier. And here's the key. When it comes to scheduling, write things down. Had a meeting with Damon, my office manager, the other day. We're sitting there talking, and I said, okay, you know what, Damon, I'm going to handle that. I got it. And I didn't have to write it down because I knew it was only one thing. By the end of the conversation, I looked at Damon and I said, what was that one thing I was going to do? Couldn't remember. So luckily, as I'm walking down the stairs, it hit me. I said, oh, that's right. I got to talk to Justin. I got to ask him this and this and this. Write things down. My favorite thing to do for mental health and sanity are sticky notes. I love sticky notes. And there's new ones out, which I just discovered not long ago. They got stickiness all the way across the back. I love these things. They are in my car. They are next to my bed. They are in my kitchen. They are in my office. I have them everywhere. I'm looking at them right now at the desk in front of me. There's some sticky notes all over the place. These things, I believe, are a lifesaver. These are the things that are going to change society. Because when you have a thought, okay, write it down. If you don't, you're going to forget it. That's not good for your mental health. Because then you start thinking, what was I going to do? What did Garrett tell me to do? What did I tell Damon I was going to do? And it starts racing through your head, and you can't remember it. Now, some people use their phones, but even Garrett, who's, half my age, less than half my age, I finally got him hooked on sticky notes too, because sometimes your phone is there. Garrett's my producer, by the way, if you don't know who Garrett is, if you're new to the show. And you get the sticky note, you write things down, and then you remember it. And I personally have gotten to the point where I really enjoy throwing the sticky note away. When I write something down and it's done, I love that crunkled up feeling to throw it in the trash. So again, we're talking today about saving time, and one of the things that wastes so much time is you're thinking about what you had to do. And then your brain is being occupied and you can't get to the next thought. So write things down. If you like making grocery lists, make a grocery list. I have a calendar, like I said, on my phone, on my computer, but I have to look and say, okay, what do I got planned? Okay, because of that, I can do this. So some days I actually get to sleep in a little later. I can plan to sleep in a little later. And that's kind of nice. I have something to look forward to. That's the key. You need something to look forward to. The biggest problem we're seeing with people being in lockdown, especially in senior housing, is there's not an end in sight. When am I going to see my family again? When am I going to see? I miss one of my relatives. Haven't seen her in a long time because I can't travel. And I miss her. And you wonder, when is that going to happen? When is that end in sight? So having things to look forward to is really, really, really important for mental health. But these seniors have nothing to look forward to. And a lot of them, if I speak to them, they come as patients, they'll even say, this is the highlight of my day. I love coming to see you, Dr. Joe, or, Dr. Irwin, or Dr. Kat, or Dr. Amy, Dr. Martini, because this is the highlight of my day. It gives me something to look forward to. So writing things down, and then you could say, what do I got next week? Oh, that's right. I'm going out to dinner with such and such, or I got a meeting with such and such. Even if it's a Zoom meeting, it gives you something to get excited about. And when you write things down, that helps tremendously. And then also, when things start getting back to normal, I'm going to play this show, by the way, when things get back to normal, you're going to say, Dr. Joe was right. He was psychic. Remember the big picture. What's worth your time? Is it really that important? And if the answer is no, don't worry about it. Don't sweat the little things. And so maybe you used to be somebody who took care of everybody. Maybe you have what's called a caretaker personality, which is a great personality, by the way. Caretaker personality, you want to take care of everybody and everything. That can be exhausting on your health. I'm so busy taking care of everybody else's problems, I don't have time to take care of myself. And so start to think about that. What can I do to take care of myself? And that's where health comes in. So you see, this all ties together. Not wasting time. That's going to give you more time to do things, but you also have to taking care of your health in there. So one thing good that's come out of this big lockdown is people have slowed down. And I'm happy to see that. But I want you to now utilize your time more efficiently. There was a time when I just didn't have time to do anything, and I got nothing done. And then when you do slow down, you're going to be amazed. That's why vacations are really important. Taking time off to reboot, you're going to get a lot more done when you come back. So it's important, and I know I'm guilty of this as everybody else. Sometimes my one secretary, Kayla, she'll yell at me. She'll say, you know what, I'm not letting you in the office tomorrow. And I said, yeah, but. She goes, no, I don't want to hear yeah, buts. She goes, you've been putting in 7 and 8 day weeks. You need to take a day off. And she'll make me. She says, I'll change your schedule around. I did it already. You have no say in it. And I'm like, she's right. So we all need a coach. We all need a life coach to kind of pull us through these things and say, all right, what's going to be priority, what's important? And don't cheat. If you set up a schedule and you have a work set, you got to be to work at 8:30, be to work at 8:30, not 8:45. And if you don't do it, that's shame on you, and you need to have that focus, that responsibility in your life. Missing one start time is going to make everything else start to back up a little bit. So what I do with my supplements, for example, I take my supplements first thing in the morning. When I wake up, I get out of bed, I go into my kitchen, I take Super Greens and Essential Source. Again, that's the minimum supplements that I think everybody should be taking every day. Super Greens and Essential Source are 2 powders, a scoop of each. They taste great. I mix mine with coconut milk or almond milk. I just shake it up in a small jar and I drink it. That starts my day. Then I have my supplements. I take several supplements. We customize supplement plans for all our patients. So we'll sit down with you and say, okay, what are your concerns? So Garrett, for example, is younger than me. He has, Garrett's my producer, he has different nutritional needs than I have. And so we customize plans for each and every one of us. But the minimum supplements you should be taking, again, are Super Greens, Essential Source, and at least vitamin D, especially until the sun is out for long periods of time and you can get out in the sun and make your own vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important for brain function, for immune function, for bone function. It's probably the least expensive insurance policy you'll ever buy. So Super Green Essential Source Vitamin D, minimum supplements, they're all on the website, drjoe.com. Now, you can order them, we'll ship them to you, or you can come pick them up. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. So I have everything laid out very simple and easy, so I know when I get out of bed, it's all going to happen. Because I don't want to miss my supplements. That's the thing that gets me going. Some people get up and have coffee. But here's what's going to happen. If you start taking care of yourself and eating the right foods and getting chiropractic care, dealing with pain issues, chances are you're not going to need so many outside stimulants. Countless patients over the years said, Dr. Joe, I've given up my coffee. Why? Because I'm taking Super Greens, Essential Source. I have so much energy now. Another supplement as we get older could be nitric oxide. And I take that every day. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels and increases circulation throughout the body. So the only time I would say be careful with nitric oxide is if you have low blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, I'll give you a warning too. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels, and that could lower your blood pressure. So if you're taking Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support and blood pressure medication, monitor your blood pressure. If it gets too low, you got to give up either supplements or the medication. Of course, you got to make that decision. I think I know what that decision is already. So I take nitric oxide, amazing bursts of energy. So be careful with it. I can't take it at night. I can't sleep. So I get a lot more done when I'm healthy than if I'm sick. And so I want to stay as healthy as I possibly can. If you have pain, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, restless leg syndrome, chances are that's a pinched nerve. And the most effective, least expensive treatment for pinched nerves is chiropractic care. Let me say that again. Most effective, least expensive treatment for something that plagues about 80% of the society. So why don't you start with chiropractic care and see how we do? If it doesn't solve the problem, in most cases it does, we have a medical department in our offices, and we can send you to a medical doctor. Maybe you need medication. Maybe you need anti-inflammatories. Maybe you need injections. We have something called PRP. PRP is platelet-rich plasma. We take your blood, spin it down in a centrifuge, and take out what's called the platelets. The platelets are the growth factors. We can take these growth factors and re-inject them back into the body to stimulate new growth. Arthritic knees, arthritic feet, any type of arthritis, really, PRP is wonderful for in most cases. If there's an autoimmune condition, we might want to do something like exosomes. Exosomes are the part of the stem cells in the body that are the active parts. We've seen amazing results with shaking, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Many times we see some great results taking the PRP and or the exosomes and working with it that way. So there's so many things that you can be doing to get well, but you don't know it. I didn't know it until I learned about it. I've been in practice 36 years. I've missed a half a day of work in 36 years. And every single day I'm learning something new, a new treatment, a new therapy, a new combination of supplements, a new food combination that's going to help me get well, and then you can get well too. And so that's the plan, is to try to get you well as quickly as possible. If you do want to make an appointment, go to our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. That's Georgia, by the way, because I realize this show goes all over the world. The people are saying, what state are you in? Georgia. And if you're out of state, we have patients fly in all the time to see us. But we can get you set up for an appointment as quickly as possible. And we accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. So you need to get to see us as quickly as humanly possible. Again, we accept most insurances, Medicare. We want to be your doctors. The initial visit is normally $375. We've reduced that to $199. That's not going to go on for very much longer. So that's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays on the next visit, putting together a treatment plan for you, and a nutrition evaluation. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be need for more care. If we start the treatment, you're going to need more than one visit. So don't think you're going to come in once and be healed. It's not going to happen. It's going to take some time. Not long, but it's going to take some time. So again, if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We're more than happy to get that set up for you as quickly as possible. So again, the website has over 1,500 hours of podcasts too. So the way you use the website is this. Type in what you're looking for in a search engine. Okay, there's a little search bar. Hit enter. Chances are we've done a show, we've done an article, we've done a podcast on it. Watch it or listen to it, whatever you like. And then if you still have questions, feel free to send us the question right through the website. One of us will get back to you as quickly as possible. If you're a podcast junkie, I want you to go to your podcast service and look up Dr. Joe for the health of it, DRJOE for the health of it. We have a huge following on our podcasts, and you can get like nonstop Dr. Joe hour after hour after hour if that's what you're really looking for. And a lot of people love it. Doctors use it. I've schools, universities, grammar schools, high schools use these shows for teaching tools. Because I'll get an email from a kid, Dr. Joe, you said such and such. And I'm like, well, when did I say that? And they say, oh, my teacher, we play your shows in our classes all the time. So it's really good information that we try to share with you so that you can get well and stay well. And so today we're talking about, are you wasting time? And one of the things that you're wasting time with is if you're not healthy. If you're not healthy, you're wasting your lifetime. And that's not good. I want to keep you around as long as humanly possible. And it's not hard if you have a normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, and good nutrition. Again, when we come out of this mess, this pandemic, I want you to be healthy and hitting the ground as quickly as possible. Another thing that wastes time is email and social media. Now, you should be following us on social media. Our handle is at Dr. Joe Esposito. That's at Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we post good information. But I know with social media, looking at it, I don't care what somebody's cat did. I don't care what you had for lunch. Now, if it's something important about food, hey, this is a vegan, gluten-free meal and you can make this at home, then I'm interested. Okay, but be careful and limit the amount of time you spend on social media and even emails. If it doesn't concern you, delete it. And you could also unsubscribe or just block that person. If it's something that's urgent or something that has to be done quickly, respond to it. Delegate it. I get emails all the time. It may not be something I do, but I'll send it to Garrett. I'll send it to Damon. These are my coworkers. I'll send it to one of my other doctors. Dr. Amy is our clinic director, and let them handle it because I can't do it all. And then defer things. Maybe it's not something you need to do right away. You can put a little flag on it and go back to it. And also what I want you to do is schedule some good stuff. When you come out of this whole mess, again, hit the ground running, but schedule some good things. Schedule little getaways, staycations, trips to something near you that you've never seen or done before, time with friends, maybe just going for a walk. I like waterfalls. I love finding new waterfalls and hiking waterfalls. So find something that you like and do it because that's good for mental health. And if you have good mental health, you have good physical health. So, folks, again, if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We have over 1,500 hours of podcasts there. If you have questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. Podcast, Dr. Joe for the health of it. We're on pretty much all the main, all the major podcast services. That's great. And if you do want to make an appointment, it's real easy. Go to the website, drjoe.com. You can book it right online if you want to, or call us. And when you call us, my staff will be more than happy to explain to you what it takes to become a patient. Our job, we want to naturally get you well and keep you well. Folks, again, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends about the show. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. We'll catch you soon.